why do people fail at wholesaling? So what I'd like to do is you guys put in some comments. What do you think the top 2 or 3 reasons are why people fail in wholesaling? I already know the answer to this. Why? I've been through the journey. I have walked so many people through this fire. I know exactly what people are going on inside their head. I know what they're concerned with, and I know why most people can't get past the first 30 or 90 days in wholesaling. So I would love to see comments in there, because if you understand it, even though it's a lot of rudimentary answers, if you understand the psychology of how wholesalers think when they start out, it's actually, this took me a long time to accept. And so a lot of your answers are right. I'm not going to say lazy. Consistency is always going to be a problem. So I'm not going to go to consistency. Listen, if you're lazy, you'll never survive as a wholesaler. Don't even worry about that. Analysis paralysis. Yeah, I see a lot of fear on there. This is a good one. Lack of commitment, discipline. So guys, keep the answers coming, because we are going to put them in priority. So I'm going to let you guys kind of write today's live, because it's important you understand, because I know the secret of why mechanically, when you come from another industry and you try wholesaling and you fall in love with it and you go, oh my God, this guy, Rick and Zach, like, it's an amazing lifestyle and I want it. But it's never a question if you don't want what's on the other side of the lifestyle. The question is, are you willing to go through the fire to get it? And the honest answer to most people, it's just a no. And people can't be honest with themselves and do it. How many times do you see when people see like a movie star or an actor or a famous athlete, like, oh my God, I'd love to have what they have. But what you don't understand is they gave up a lot to get it. And my question is always going to be is, what are you going to give up to become successful with wholesaling? Honestly, if everybody who jumped in wholesaling was successful, it would not be this incredible path to create financial freedom and freedom of your time. So you have to understand that. Jason, get real close here. They try for 2 months. That's probably 1 more month than what most people even actually do. Connections, that's a part of it, but it's not everything. Most of your connections are going to be with motivated sellers when you do it. So Annabella says, because I'm trying to figure out why I've done 4 deals and now I'm stuck. Now, Annabella, you've done more than most people have on average. So a lot of time is you're trying to reinvent the wheel, what we're doing. But Annabella, I want you to be part of this stream today, because I'm here to help you out. So if you want to hop on the live, I would love to talk to someone like you. And listen, guys, you don't have to put your video on the live. I'm here to help problem solve, and we go from there. So, this is a big one. Oh my God. Listen, when you've worked for somebody else, I worked for a corporation for 12 years, and then I went on my own and worked virtually. I mean, it was like Naked and Afraid all over again. Like, if you ever watched that show, the 2 biggest fears of people is to live out in the wild and be naked with a stranger with like no like modern day supplies. To me, that's a horror story. So I kind of get it on that. Used to work. It's true, man. A lot of you guys are addicted to the paycheck. I know I was. I was like, what do you mean I'm not getting a paycheck on the 15th? I got a paycheck on the 15th and the 1st, and then I got my commissions on the 1st. And that was it. When I had to change that, it was crazy. So awesome. So I'm seeing discouragement, fear of making a mistake. And by the way, every one of your answers are absolutely correct. So let me go through my answers and we will walk through this together. Working in a sales full-time and trying to make use of my skills in corporate life. That won't stop you. It gets in the way, but it won't stop you. So let me run through it. And by the way, I don't do these in order. There is no one that's more important than the other, but these are the things that I always find. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the mechanical in the mind, because the reality is most of you have tried the other side of the matrix on the like the matrix, and you're stuck in it. And when I say the matrix, this corporate BS cycle we're all stuck on. Let's go to work. Let's get a good job. Let's get good pay and take care of our family. And that's what most people are subscribed to. That's what we're all pitched. Your modern day school systems from K through 12th grade is all about getting you a job. Every piece of vocabulary, everything in print is, how are you going to get a good job if you don't do this? How are you going to get a good job if you don't get good grades? And in my opinion, like, I didn't realize this young, they're already breaking you down to be a soldier for the matrix. And what happened to free thinking, to people that could actually create companies and entrepreneurs that can help solve the world's problems? No, the reality is your government wants you to be a soldier. They want you to go to work so they can get access to your taxes. The more people that contribute to the tax system, the more dollars they take. They don't generate revenue, they take. And then politicians spend our money And that's why we're in a $32 trillion deficit, because there is no checks and balances on anything. So if you subscribe to that, you have to understand it does take time to unwind your mind. I'm here to tell you, I got stuck so bad on this, it absolutely destroyed my mind. So the first thing is, when something doesn't work, you've got to understand is you're operating under your old mindset while you're doing wholesaling. I'm going to go through in detail with this. Remember, if what you did before is completely broken, and they've programmed you to be a job, be a good employee, and follow the rules, there's no way that mindset will ever work in wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you, you actually have to do almost the complete freaking opposite. So we all get frustrated when we don't make money from day one. We don't get results in 30 days. And we go back to our old self and we get super frustrated. Keep in mind, your old self's what brought you to this current moment. So if you're out of shape or you're overweight, if you use your old mindset and try to make a change your body, you're going to wind up right back, or if not worse than when you started. And if you understand that going into wholesaling, you have to give yourself a little bit of space to make some mistakes, because the truth of wholesaling, it's about learning, making mistakes, and making money. But you've been brought up in a school system where you have to study, you have to ace a test, and only the A students will get the best jobs. And then everybody at a B- or a C+, I was more like a C-, you've got to go do manual work jobs because you're not smart enough to get it done. They never taught you about working hard, about working smart, anything like that. So if you take that old mindset to wholesaling, it will destroy you. You're going to have to do some work on your mind saying, everything I've done to that point that has frustrated me has not worked. So when me and Zach give you instructions on stuff you have to do, and you start saying, well, I don't want to do that, or that seems like too many phone calls, you are using your broken old mindset and you're looking for safety and certainty. And I cannot give that to you in wholesaling. And if that's what you're here for, get out right away, because you're going to be in for a culture shock. You're going to have to take a risk. You're going to have to take such uncomfortable action. It's going to shake you to the core. But if you can get through that, the life you can lead on the other side of it is nothing like you can even possibly imagine, because you think there's this wall that you're going to hit. Here's why people take jobs for the most part. And by the way, I've had plenty of jobs, so I'm not a hypocrite. We want safety. We want security. We want certainty. It is one of the biggest human emotions needs. You're going to have to leave that at the door. It doesn't mean you're reckless and forget about it. Guys, keep in mind, I worked a corporate job for almost 8 months before I quit and left wholesaling completely. Huge mortgage, two tiny little babies, and a wife depending on me. So I don't matter what position you're in. If you're living at home with your parents, or you have the scenario like I have, you deserve better, because getting little peanuts every couple of weeks, you're working on somebody else's dream. And I'm here to tell you, the only way things can get better if you work on your own dreams. If you found wholesaling through me, God bless you. I want to help you out as much as possible. You're going to have to change that old broken mindset, because it just doesn't work. And I'm here to tell you, if you rely on that old broken mindset for your new change, you're going to repeat the exact same patterns. You're going to quit wholesaling and you're going to run back to safety. Here's a little deal I made with myself. I know this is going to be hard. I know this is going to be wildly uncomfortable. And honestly, I'm going to have a lot of fear, anxiety, and I'm going to be scared. But if I don't make this change, when am I ever going to do it? And worst case scenario, if I give it a year, maybe even 2 years, and it fails, I will go back to the bottom of the ladder on my corporate ladder, and I'll just work my way back up. You could always go back to your old self. You already know it and it's there. And honestly, it's what's created your problem. You're comfortable with it. Your new mindset is wildly uncomfortable. It's exciting, but man, it scares the hell out of you. And if you will not cross that bridge, I can't help you. Zach can't help you. Nobody can help you. I can give you word for word exactly what to do, and you're going to let your old broken mindset bring you back in. So that's number one. Number two, excuses. Man, dude, I was good at this. The minute you find yourself giving excuses, dig deep as you possibly can, down to your heart and your soul. And I'm here to tell you, excuses are validation for why you don't want to do something. It's a defense mechanism. You guys hear excuses all day. I can't stand excuses. I am numb to people's excuses. To be honest with you, I was an excuse producer for a long time. Once you own up to it and go that, well, that's not going to help me by making an excuse. Are there valid excuses? Yeah. I know people that for no reason at all get stuck in a situation for something they didn't do. The difference is some people cry excuses all day and they want sympathy or they want to be given a break. You have a choice. You can either give an excuse or you can take action, period. Even when things go wrong, not to your fault, you have to remove excuses, because excuses are explanations to validate your story of why you can't get something done. If you constantly give excuses, it means you're not going to get anything done. And once I identify that person, I move past them because I don't want to waste my time with them anymore. Don't be that person. I used to have excuses. Once you own up to it and you're truly accountable to yourself, excuses don't matter. Excuses is just wasted air. Excuses don't change anything. You are trying to validate your feelings, and unfortunately, other people just don't care. So excuses or actions, you have to pick which one you do. You can't do both. It's impossible to do both. So every time I'm talking to you guys and people give me, I can't do this, I can't do that. My favorite is, I tried everything, Rick. If you want to bring me that line, I promise you in a couple minutes, I can probably bust it open, because trying everything would mean we probably wouldn't be having this conversation if you truly tried everything, because that means you did everything. And the word try is one of the biggest hints I hear from people. Try is not an action, it's an attempt. Trying is an attempt. It's not an action. The word trying to me is like an excuse. Well, I tried, Rick. I tried. I'm trying. What does that mean? Does it mean you're going to get it done? Which leads me to the next one. If you want to avoid the word try or I'm trying, understand this. A lot of wholesalers fail because they have a belief without conviction. So what do I mean by that? This is really simple. When you have a belief, you go, listen, I believe wholesaling will set me financially free and free up my time to spend more time with my family and my loved ones. That's a belief. I love it. It was my belief. I wrote it on my bathroom mirror. You guys know the story. Now, here's the problem. That belief is internalized with you. Maybe your spouse, your family knows about it, maybe a couple friends and colleagues. That's about it. Once you go out into the real world, they don't care about your belief because it's your belief. Your conviction is your willingness to follow through your belief in absence of evidence to support it. Well, I know that was a big definition. I don't even know how I spit that out. The truth of the matter is, conviction is, I'm going to do this no matter what it takes, period. End of story. If I got to knock on 3,000 doors, if I got to make 10,000 phone calls, I'm going through it. And until I get there, I'm not going to stop. The reality is, if you have a belief that wholesaling is going to set you free and whatever you want to accomplish, and the minute your neighbor or your friend or family goes, what are you doing that crap for? That's ridiculous. Go get a regular job. Stop trying to be special because you're not. You need to make sure you provide for your family and you need the basics for them. And if you don't have a conviction, you're going to sabotage your own belief and you're going to wind back up into your former self. Ask me how I know this. I've had people attack me my entire career doing wholesaling to this day. I don't care. So once you have a conviction, you can't penetrate the belief. The belief alone, it's like a jellyfish. It's very soft. And until you surround it with your protective layer going, dude, I'm doing this. I don't care what happens. End of story. You are going to be at massive risk for failing in wholesaling. And guys, I'm telling you over and over, it is huge. So guys, there's a link to join the live. Just go up to the top where it says Rick Ginn, and I'm going to be getting it in here shortly. So next, belief without conviction, guys, that would be the one I would hang it on there. Okay. Persistence. I know it's just like a generic word. What persistence means to me as a wholesaler, when you get knocked down, you just get up. You don't even dust yourself up. You just got to snap up. You can't sit there and lay on the ground and cry foul, come up with excuses and question, why am I doing wholesaling? Just get up. It's not if you're going to get knocked down, it's how many times you're going to get knocked down. Remember, I don't know, as the famous saying, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It matters how many times you get up. Everybody gets knocked down in wholesaling. You are not any exception. And if you think you're never going to get knocked down, get out the door now because you're about to get run over in wholesaling. Guys, this is truth. And a lot of this stuff is right up in here between your ears. Now, I'm going to throw out a big one. I might hurt some feelings on this, but you ready for this one? You guys care too much what others think of you. Like, honestly, guys, if somebody would not take the time of day to show up to your funeral and spend time with your loved ones to console them, why do you care what they think about what you're doing? Honestly, most people are just judging you because that's human nature. They are not there when you're paying your bills, when you're trying to take care of your family or doing anything like that. So you have to understand it. Stop caring what other people think about you. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that I'm not going to let it affect me and take away my belief. My conviction's so strong, I'm not going to let that change. Because the reality is most of the people that are judging you and the ones that you care the most about what they think about you, they're trying to protect you. And how do they protect you is don't do that. That's risky. Well, we already know where the job winds up. That's the biggest risk you can take in life because it guarantees you mediocrity. It guarantees a limit on how much you're going to make. And it guarantees you are going to spend a lot of time outside your family and your loved ones in your home. And to me, that is the risky venture of it all. And remember, I didn't figure that out till I was 33. So I'm not a hypocrite. I was brainwashed just like most of you guys that are watching this. It's just the truth. That's why we call it the Matrix. So if you know that and people go, well, I wouldn't do that. Like, that's way risky. Why not take the money right now? I don't get it. And if you are going to let somebody that is not doing what you want to do, that has no financial stability, that just has the basics and gets by us in life, if that's what you want, then stay there. I'm fine with it. But if you've decided you want to make a change and you want to use wholesaling as your vehicle, then go with it and stop taking the advice and opinion from people that, honestly, I get it. The loved ones are trying to protect you because they're scared and they don't understand why you take such a massive risk. But remember, the biggest risk is just not being free. You're only on this earth so long. So why sit there and be into a confined lifestyle? There is so much more out there, but if you just want to be average, wholesaling is probably not going to be the place for you because there's much easier methods to do it. So stop caring what everybody else thinks about you because they only think about it for a minute or two and then they go watch Kim Kardashian or whatever the next show is, and they go to their 9-to-5 job, and then they look forward to the weekends, they consume massive amounts of drinks, they eat whatever they want. If you don't want to be that person and you want to start to make a change, stop letting other people validate what you should be doing. So if you're not happy with what they're doing, why would you take advice from them? You guys, I'm my own hypocrite. I let my family and my friends for the longest time say, why would you do that? It's so risky. It's dangerous. And after a while, I figured out the only risky thing is sitting and working for somebody else. Guys, I'm not knocking when somebody works for somebody else. I did it for a long time, but you are on a wholesaling channel and most likely you're interested in making a change in your life. Understanding you are going to do what 95% of the public completely disagrees with you. So do you want to live like that 3 to 5% of people? That's your option. Or you can just accept the mediocrity of 95% of the people out there. And if you're like me, forget it. Hopefully you're younger than me. I didn't wake up till I was 33, guys. I tried everything that my family and my parents put in front of me, and it was a disaster. I got a good job, stuff like that. But by the end of the day, by the time you pay your taxes and stuff, how much money do you really have? Do you think going on vacation for 2 weeks out of your life is living it up? No. If you really commit to wholesaling, you get through your first 2 years, you can treat the rest of your life like a vacation. 2 years, trade off 2 years. But in that 2 years, you can't be going on cruises. You can't go out partying every night, and you're going to have to make sacrifices and stop buying all that crap to keep up with the Joneses. So let's get into just some of the basics. Here's the last two talking about mechanical and wholesaling. I will tell you, most of you have a lack of marketing problem because when you start from zero, you have to go crazy marketing. You have to contact everybody. I mean, everybody, because you went from nothing to a previous job to trying to do as many deals as possible. It does take some time. And that leads me to lack of volume. You got to have a tremendous amount of volume. A lot of time when I talk to you guys on the one-on-one, the biggest problem I find is you just don't have enough leads. And I get it. And keep in mind, you need to talk to motivated sellers. Talking to retail sellers, you have to disqualify as many as you can as soon as possible. Because if you think you're going to convince a retail person, maybe on a Fizbo Zillow, to sell your home, and you think you can talk them into an hour, I'm telling you right now, 21 years of this, you will never force someone to sell a deal to you at a wholesale price. Either they fit the mold and they're confident in you and you can move forward with it. So guys, that is my rant on why most wholesalers fail. I know it's a lot. 90% of the game is right up here in the head. They just can't get through their head that they're operating under the old set of rules. So if you're going to enter the matrix, the red pill, blue pill, you have to take a choice. You can't be on both sides of the matrix and make it work. You're worried about what others think to you? Then stay over on that side. Because on this side, it's a completely different set of rules. And it's really difficult the first 3 to 6 months trying to figure it out. Sometimes it's difficult the first year. And here's the last one to tell you is, Wholesaling is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Everybody, I've been in this business 21 years. Any wholesaler I've ever met that did the sprint, they all leave. They all leave and go do something else. They try to make as much money as fast as they can. They get out and they say they hate it. If you hate the business, it means you did it wrong. There's nothing to hate, guys. I'm on 21 years. I love everything I do. If you like working with people and talking to people, that's all wholesaling is. Real estate is just a mathematical side problem of people. So I look for clues where there's issues, and that's where I go in on it. So